All right, we are live. Yes, everything is on the green. Sound looks to be good. This seems to be good. The sound seems to be almost there. Okay, all good now, and we should be ready. All right, guys, welcome everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Unusual time today, Monday. Sorry I didn't get the time and the opportunity and the energy to make it yesterday. So yeah, really had to rest a little bit. Battery was quite discharged, so it did require some resting. You know, it's life. But we're back. We're back anyways. We're back in X-Plane. And we will be flying the 767, which actually won a very, very small poll that I created yesterday on the Discord. And I was not expecting this airplane to win it, but hey, 767 it is. I quite like it, to be honest. I quite like the 767. In fact, it kind of feels even slightly better than the 757, even though I prefer the 757. But anyways, I'm just connecting to VATSIM to make sure that everything is good, and we're flying United today with in Houston. Real weather, real time. We'll be flying to Mexico City, quite an interesting place. High elevation airfield, not as crazy as something like La Paz or Cusco, but still high enough to be considerative. And on the cruise we will be talking about global circulation. Now on this I didn't have the proper time to prepare a proper presentation like we did on the first topic. Speaking of which, I need to create a poll for in a second in order for you guys to vote on the next topics. So yes, that's gonna be basically it. 767, 2-hour flight roughly, and Mexico City. That is gonna be cool. Syncrash Flyer, hey, I'm on the gate, Captain. Hello. Great to see you here, man. How are you? I hope you're feeling good, and I hope you are on a good start of the week. It's been an interesting day for me today. Some work on the morning, got some stuff fixed. We got a team meeting as well, and got some phone calls as well, some tasks assignment. Some planning to do as well, but overall pretty good. Exciting times ahead, that's the only thing I can tell you guys. Exciting times ahead, very exciting times. So yeah, man, this 767 is looking cool. I really like the way it looks. But anyways, I think I'm talking too much already. Let's go into cockpit, let's power up the airplane. It's in cold and dark condition. Let's load it, and let's start everything. So first things first, as always, we confirm that the brakes, weather radar off, fuel cut off, spoilers are retracted, flaps are up, gear is down, and we've got, of course, the wipers in the off position. I've got the external power connected, so I'm gonna go and power up the battery first. Put the standby power to auto, external power on, connect the bus tie utility, and power up the gens already. I'm gonna put this to right engine on, auto on, and I'm gonna leave this to on. These two are on, yaw dampers on. Put this to nav. Emergency lights and position lights. No smoking, auto, window heat, and I'm gonna wait for the rest. Very good. You fear the cold, Syncrash Flyer? Is it still that cold there? Syncrash Flyer, as I always tell my customers, keep talking, I'm still getting paid for hours. Oh wow. That's funny. Alright, so I've loaded the plane. In fact, it's not exactly loaded, it's empty. But that's the whole point of it. So we're gonna have to analyze the situation here and see what's what. Specifically, what do we expect in terms of loadings? So let's see. Let's see what are we expecting in terms of loading. Here's our OFP, you can see it pretty clearly. Cost index 184. Wow, that's impressive. We're gonna get fast. So 184 days. Let's just confirm that we are flying from Houston to Mexico City. That is correct. Our estimated takeoff weight is 133, landing weight 124, maximum 145. So we're within the limits, as well as the zero fuel weight. A couple of interesting flight level steps here to 340, then 330 and 340 again. I would probably just maintain 340 the entire way. Then our block fuel, just checking this out. Minimum takeoff fuel, this is quite important. 14358, so that is it, and I'm gonna probably go to 15. That'd be a good number. Our diversion fuel 4.7. I always round it up, so let me write that down. 4.7. Trip and taxi seems good. I do my signature here, and checking here our alternate Mike Alpha Alpha with our routes. Flight level 280, time 39 minutes. Sounds good. This is going to be our routing. A retest 7 departure to Ranbro, Mam, Tam, Inaga, and then Inaga 3 Alpha. This looks cool. Operational impacts, we'll check that later. Just checking here again. Zero fuel weight 119, max 133, takeoff weight 133. So we're not even overweight for the departure. That's really good. So putting this here. Payload 30.3. Sounds beautiful. Sounds and looks beautiful. Let's check the weather as well. What can we expect in terms of significant weather here on the route? So this seems like we've got some icing from below 10,000 up to flight level 240, and that's essentially the only thing. It's going to be a jet stream, so perhaps we're going to still catch a little bit of wind there. And oh, look at that. 2 volcanoes, Santa Maria and Fuego. Very, very interesting. Now, our alternate is right here. Let's check what its name. This is Juan N. Alvarez. General. Alright, sounds good. How's the weather here? 3506, visibility 6 statute mild. Sky condition clear? Perhaps 2916, 29908, remark hazy. Okay, so we've got some haze. And visibility is expected to be at 5, still haze. Alright, so haze, but wind related or significant weather related seems pretty good. Fantastic. Let's check the weather radar. Do we have anything here in terms of precipitation? Not really, so that's good. And we still don't have here the satellite imagery. This is a little bit annoying. But fine, we'll leave this on the route. Alternates, all seems green, so all seems VFR. Still got a couple of VFR alternates here for the 767. A little bit of a heavy airplane, this one, so we need to pay attention to it. Even though it's not incredibly big like the 777, it's not far from it. Alright, so 15 tons is going to be it. Let's see, let's go and start loading this stuff on. So, zero fuel weight, estimated zero fuel weight is gonna be 119. So let's pull this to 35. I think it's the maximum amount of passengers. And zero fuel weight is, we are on 114.1901. So wow, I've got a full box of passengers. Alright, let's add some cargo. We need to 19, so plus 4.8. That'll do. 4.9. 119. Oh, this is perfect. So this is going to be it. CG at 28%. Yeah, 28% seems good to me. So I'm going to do a retouch the load. We will be loading the plane. Oh yeah, I have to remove the sounds. So let me just remove cabin crew. No PA. Passengers volume. Yeah, I'm going to remove that as well. I don't like it. Alright, very good. That's going to be loading in. Let's finish the overhead, so confirm that everything is fine here. All fine, all fine. APU gen can be already on the on position. So lights are fine, fuel pumps off. This is an auto, both emergency lights, all seems correct. Window heat, this is good, this is good. Seatbelt sign is going to go to auto. Now I need to open my charts. And I need to load my flight. Import this from SimBrief. Sorry, it's getting warmer. We only had minus 11 degrees last night. Ooh, minus 11. That's that's cold. That's pretty cold. Wow. Minus 11. Holy cow! I don't even remember if I ever experienced minus 11. I don't think I did. Alright, so I wanted to just check what was the airfield elevation, and it is 96, so this is absolutely incorrect. I'm gonna have to scroll this to 100, so that's all fine. Scroll this to auto, trim air, recirc fans on, auto, isolations on, APU on. Alright, very good. This is all set. Check the oxygen mask. It does work. Lighting wise, this seems good. QNH in Houston is 3050. Sync on the other side, set here 3050. RTO on the auto brakes. I'm gonna check here, what do we have? System pressure, fuel pressure, shutdown, all the pressures. That seems good. I'm gonna clear the recall. This is page 1 of 2, so we'll hit cancel, yaw dampers, parking brake, fuel pumps, pack off, cargo doors, etc. Very good, and left pack off as well. So we clear all the recalls to make sure that's going to be all fine. For now, I'll leave the flight directors off. Still don't have the IRSs available. Trigger speed static, all seems good. And let's put this to this, to this. This goes to plan mode on, weather radar is off. Let's see, do we have any ATC now? I doubt it. Yeah. I doubt it, but we have an advisory, which is going to be 12535. Very good, and we're going to do 2000 here for now, out off, and 1228 on the other one. Alright, it seems all good. Let's go into the box, enter IRS position, FMC active position in it, actually standby. Checking this correctly. So engines, because we're flying this United livery, this one has the Pratt & Whitney engines, so we are absolutely with the correct engines. That is good. AIRAC, it goes until the 22nd of January of 2026, so that's all good. And we can go to position in it, and I like to put the airport here, even though I'll use the GPS later. So the position is more or less good, so accept this, and off we go. I'm gonna go from Houston to Mexico City. Interestingly, there was 2 airports there, and the other day I was looking at flight radar. There was a 767 of Air Canada cargo departing from there, but flying not to Canada, flying to somewhere else. We are flight United 1024. So that goes in, and we're gonna go departure. Let's just check the METAR here, 0406. So I'd love to just go for runway 008 right. The question is, can I do it? All runways. Yeah, I can kinda do it. Then a right hand turn to bottle. Yeah, perhaps I'll do that. Or maybe we could go to runway 15 left as well. But 1-5 left gives us already a little bit of a tailwind. Let's go for 8 right. Yeah, 8 right it is. Alright, 8 right. I'm gonna go for the Reta 5. Correction, Reta 7. And our transition by our route is to Ren. So route, activate, execute, next page. I'll go direct to Bro. What a funny name. It's a VORDME indeed, but I'll confirm it. It's Brownsville at what's 16.3, so it's the first one. And that is inserted. Then to MAM. It's gonna be the first one probably again, but I'll check it anyway. Matamoros at 114.3 again. Funnily, they have... No, they don't have the same frequency. Crash Fire 1024 is Houston to Mexico. Yeah, that's the real world call sign. I checked it. So I did that on purpose. Uniform Juliet 59. There I am missing the buttons. To TAM. So this one I should accept without questions. And then to Uniform Tango 100. All the way to Inaga. Gonna set it there, execute. I'll go arrival, index, arrival, and we are expecting to go for 05 right at Mexico via Inaga 3. No transition. No transition. Execute. Very good. Let's go performance in it. I believe we should get the fuel on board already. Oh no. I've set the load but not the fuel. So passengers are on board with no fuel. My mistake. 15 is set. I'm going to retouch the load. Yeah, but we can do the zero fuel weight anyway. But I'll wait with that. Anyway, our reserves 4.7 diversion fuel. Flight level 340. Cost index. This is quite interesting. 184. This is impressive, I have to say. And our average wind is 261 at 4.8. So we're gonna get us crosswind the entire way. Alright, decision height. I'll leave this at 200. This is fine. Crash Flyer, hey! Direct to Bro. Yeah. How are you? Hope you're doing good. I'll go legs here, and I'll wait until we get the full refuel so I put the weights in. Alright. Let's go flight directors on, auto throttle armed. Let's check. How is this looking in terms of the departures? So vectors, then to bottle. Oh, interestingly, it doesn't have vectors here. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry. Or maybe not. Yeah, this is weird. This departure is slightly different. Let me check. 08 right. Oh no, never mind. We're doing 08 right. That's correct. That's with the vectors. Sorry. So anyway, it's going to be straight ahead. And then we fly by radar vectors to cross bottle at or below 5,000. So let's set already 5,000 here. And let's continue with the check. Legs, so bottle, flies the winner, Rita above 10, that's all correct. I would love to get the data there. Rig ran fantastic there. Route, Bro, Mam, Axipu, Nugus, Duspi, Mapil, Tam, Celer, Inaga, and then we get this interesting approach into Mexico, which seems totally fine. Very, very good. Alright, this is correct. Let me put the weather 110 at 6. Yeah, that's good. Visibility is 3 statue mile in Mexico City. Haze. Sky conditions clear, I believe. Sierra Kilo Charlie. I think that's what it means. And TAF looks amazing. Nothing significant apart from the visibility. Good. Good, good, good. So we're gonna need ILS Zulu for runway. We could do ILS Zulu. actually. Yeah, I could do ILS Zulu. Which one did I insert? That's the departures. Arrival. Oh yeah, I inserted the other one. 05 Zulu via UK10 Inaga. Execute, that's fine, and what I'll do now is just... Oh well, it just deleted everything, alright. Let's do it again. So Zulu via UK10 and Inaga, execute route legs, just check Inaga, that's correct. So there's the step by step, that's correct. That's all correct, fantastic. Very nice, so we've got everything ready, data is on. 15 tons are on board, seatbelt signs on, fuel pumps on, nothing on the center tanks, so we don't need that. So that's very good, the airplane is all fully loaded. Let's go to performance. Performance in it, put the weight in 134.1. Let me just confirm with the tablet, always confirm with the tablet. 1341, that's correct. 119.1, beautiful, all correct. So let's see with flaps 5. How are going to be the speeds? 32, 39, 148. I think this one will be the best. CG 30, it's correct. 1.3 on the trim. 32, 39, 48. Very good. We're going to go LNAV, VNAV, and we will do acceleration height. We'll do NADP 2, so we'll do 800. It's gonna go into acceleration. We'll maintain the flaps up speed until 3000 AGL. So that'll be roughly 3100. So that's good. All right, that's all fantastic. So we've completed the pre-flight. Speeds are there. Flight plan is there. This is good. This is on Zoom. I can start the APU. Oh, wait. Very important thing. I've got to submit the flight plan. Jesus. I think my head... I've been thinking about so much stuff that my head is a little bit all around the place. So, pardon me. Yeah, we should be getting out of here in 5 minutes. I'm gonna follow the flight plan. Yep, we're gonna get our squawk code 7473. Let's set it there. So 7473. Transponder altitude off. APU on. We are within 10 minutes. So I will start removing stuff apart from the GPU for now. I'll close all the doors as well. I'll put the beacon light later. We need to do a pre-flight checklist. So oxygen is tested, pressurization mode selector is on auto. I need to find a proper 767 checklist, by the way. Flight instruments, we've got heading 144 on both sides. QNH 3050 is set. And it's reading almost 100 feet, so that's correct on all three. Parking brake is set. We've got fuel control switches are cut off. Gear pin is removed. APU has probably started. Almost there. So pre-flight checklist is complete. Very, very good. Now it'll be time to do a very quick departure briefing. You guys are ready? Let's go for this. Alright, so we're flying 767 300, flight United 1024 from Houston to Mexico City. The NOTAMs, we didn't check the NOTAMs, but let's do it very, very quickly. Work in progress, obstacle tower, alright. Alright, alright. Alright. So a lot of markings here. The rest seems good. What else do we have red here? ILS, I'm changing here for low visibility, not really applicable to us. It's RNAV, we're gonna go ILS, so no big deal. RNP again, ILS, Cat 1, Cat 3, some amendments, so they did some changes. Cat 2 not available, Cat 2 not available today, not really a big deal. PAPI unserviceable, oh my god, this one is long. RVR unserviceable. Alright, some declared distances seems pretty good. I mean, a lengthy no-time list. What do we have here in Mexico? Stands, apron closed, stand 338, central apron closed. Some stands closed, essentially. Bravo 2 between runway 05 right, 23 left, closed. So Bravo 2 is closed, some stands are closed. A lot of stands are in fact closed. And runway 05 right, 23 left is closed, but it has a date. So today is the 12th, and it's from 17:30 to 17:40. So they close it for 10 minutes, and it's going to be exactly in 2 minutes, this one. So we're fine. We are fine. Taxiway Delta between taxiway and Echo, work in progress, trips. Alright, sub-maximum departure, operation frequency 12925. Fantastic. So no times are checked, nothing really significant. We got some stands closed, not really applicable here for the sim. But still, weather is looking great on the route, nothing significant. We'll be expecting some haze on Mexico, but overall here on Houston it's all fantastic. Looking brilliant, absolutely VFR weather, so it is great. I will have the terrain radar on my side. NTIs of course is going to be off. Or I believe it has an auto position here. Oof. Wait a minute, am I confusing myself with the 777 already? No, it's not. It's just a button. Alright, NTIs is going to be off. That is fine. And we are on Delta 11, parking position Delta 11. We will be pushing back. Delta 11 is right here, or Delta 12, but I think it's Delta 11. Stand Delta 4. What? Delta 4? Am I really there? Oh, this is 11. Oh, the stands are different. Oh, this is a surprise. Alright, fine. So we are here, we are on Delta 10 by the charts, but on the same it says Delta 4. Fine. So we will be here, we'll be pushing back to the ramp, taxiing towards here, November Bravo. We'll go all the way via November Bravo here to November Echo. Right-hand turn, 08 right, full length for us. Alright, the runway is dry, wind is light. We're going to depart with flaps 5, full power, why not? And we'll be departing via the Rita 7 RNAV departure on page 70-3 Victor from the 2nd of September 2022, effective from 8th of September. And as we said, our port elevation is roughly 100. Transition altitude, we are in the States, so it's 18,000. RNAV 1 DME, DMI, or GPS radar required as well, so we comply with that because we've got RNAV 1 compliance. And this is for all routes. Some takeoff minimums. This is a climb, I believe, right? Yeah, so for standard minimums refer to report charts. Runway 8 left, 8 right, standard lower than standard if authorized with minimum climb of 500 feet a minute to 800. So if we roughly look at it, ground speed 150 is 1,250. That'll be no problem for us. Alright, continuing onwards, we're departing 8 right, climb and heading 087 to 600, so straight ahead is the first vectoring part for radar vectors to cross bottle at or below 5,000. So bottle is right here. What I'll probably do is I'll just fly out straight initially a little bit, then do a right hand turn direct to bottle, or perhaps direct to Fliza or even Reno, and then we'll just go for the climb. Alright, and then from Bottle on track 139 to cross Flizza at or above 7,000, and on track 219 to cross Wineo at or above 9,000, and on track 221 to cross Rita at or above 10,000. Then on transition, maintain 16,000, expect final altitude 10 minutes after departure, so that's fine from Rita here, above 10. We'll continue, in this case, for us to rig, and then to Ren, which is quite lengthy, this one, 45.9 miles. And 52.7 here, 12,000 feet minimum offered altitude. So, seems good. Obstacle will be 2,500. Now, missile for us is going to be 3,100 for runway 08 left. So, pretty good. Not a lot of obstacles around us. And if something goes wrong, I would probably like to just return possibly to the same runway, or we could go to runway 9 because it's slightly longer. But still not very far from the airport. Of course, if I could have flight for runway 15 left, but due to the wind, even though it's not really significant, but still the wind does help to reduce a little bit of our ground speed. So if something goes wrong, we're just going to go for runway 9. Let me see, do we have an ILS? ILS or lock, yeah, beautiful. So I'll pin this one. If something goes wrong, continue back. Normal, so on a takeoff roll, if something goes on until 80 knots, we stop for any malfunction. Between 80 knots and V1 only for significant ones, in which case I'll call reject, put the thrust to idle, apply maximum reverse, we'll let the auto brake work, stop the airplane on the runway, apply the parking brake, call cabin crew attention at stations, and cabin crew at stations attention, and then advise ETC in excess situation. If the failure will happen after V1, we're going to continue straight ahead. We'll climb to 3,100 feet minimum, or 3,000 should be fine. And then we're going to vector ourselves back for the ILS runway 9 after, of course, success in the situation, depending on the problem. We don't have a takeoff alternate, we're not overweight, and there is no other considerations. So that's it. Do you have any questions? If so, let me know. Let me know. We've got the APU avail, so APGN is on. I can disconnect the external power and I can clean that up. We're going to call for better pushback as well.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I would love to get here. I hope you will be able to do that.
Ground to cockpit.
Alright, beacon light is going to come on. Logo not really required. Let's go operations, ground, remove all. Airplane, all is closed. Correct engines. Let's go before start checklist. So fuel 15 tons are on board, balanced. Passenger signs are on. Windows are both closed. So they're so closed you can't even open them. MCP is not fully configured. So standby. Need the runway heading is 087. So we've got V2148 heading 087 and 5,000 initial on the altitude. We've got takeoff thrust no assumed, derate, so full thrust.
Okay,
and
all doors and hatches are
flaps
closed.
5. Speeds. V1 132, 139 and 148 for V2. CDU pre-flight is complete. Rudder and aileron trim is 0 and 0. Taxi takeoff brief is completed, and below the line flight deck door is on the 75. It was here. Oh wait, that's unlocked. Okay, closed. Red anti-collision light is on. Before start checklist is complete. Very, very good. Let's do a recall just to check. Engine shutdown, electrics, hydraulics, sorry, and parking brake. Okay, good. Speaking of that, I need to put this to auto. And then
tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, we're good to go. Let's see if there is anybody around us. Let me check. Sanity check. Do we have any ATC? No, we don't have any ATC. I'll switch to Houston. Parking brake is released. You are clear to push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
That's wonderful. I'm going to start the chrono here for the other side. And oh no, I've got to disconnect the jetway. RIP. Right, we are clear to go. Let's go start number 2. The start sounds are not too bad. I'm running the FT Sim sound pack. So we're gonna wait until we reach... Yeah, until we reach bleed pressure, because I need to switch off the packs. Let's do off and let's restart it. There we go. Fuel on. What GPU do you use? My GPU is a poor old RTX 2070, 8 gigs. That's a pretty cool startup sound. Isn't as lengthy as the 7.3 or the 320, but yeah. Today I flew my first flight as a flight attendant. Whoa, congratulations, dude. Whoa, that is awesome. How did it go? Oh man, that's really cool. Congratulations. Alright, engine is stabilized, 25%. Let's start number 1. Got pressure. And that goes to fuel. Cool, a real life Susie. Yeah, Susie is...
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Parking brake is set. Clear disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So Susie is our fictional cabin crew. Brilliant. Man, that is awesome. That is actually awesome. It went well, but still a little confused. Oh, I believe it's a lot of stuff to start with now. Alright, I'm gonna get this connect. Man, that's cool. That is cool. Right, I've got built engine stabilized. So let's go APU off. Let's go packs on here. And isolation valves off. Engine bleeds on. That's on auto looks good.
Disconnected and bypass bin
Flaps
has been
to
removed.
5.
Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Thank you very much. See you. And let's do full up, full down, neutral. Whoa, what the hell was that? Okay. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Recall parking brake is checked. Hand signal received. Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice is not required. Isolation valves are off. Auto brake, correction, recall is checked. Auto brake is RTO. Ground equipment is clear. Before taxi checklist is complete. Very good. So we're gonna put the lights on. Brakes are released, and let's roll. Now I added a little bit too much power there. Brakes are working, fantastic. Dude, congrats. That is really cool. What airplane are you flying on? Just the type. You don't need to say the company. I know that the company is well, it's usually private stuff, so it's better not to say it. But just the type of airplane. Like it's Airbus, Boeing. Man, I feel rusty. I don't know. It's been what? It's been a week since we've flown that 747-200 flight, and I feel like I'm here. Like, what I'm gonna have to do next? This is funny. This is actually funny. All right, November Bravo is next left, so we're doing the correct side. Clear left, clear right, all looking good. Let's go. Weather radar on. I'm gonna leave it there. Transponder is fine. Frequency-wise is all fine. I'm gonna put terrain radar here and weather radar there. Clear left, clear right. Keep the ground speed within the limits. I do have to say I prefer the N1 engine indication rather than the EPR. This EPR is a little bit weird. It looks a little bit non-linear to me, but I mean, not that the scale is non-linear, but what you do on it is not linear in terms of N1. And yeah. Tobias Floyd, hey, welcome. How are you? Are you having a nice Monday? A good start of the week? Oh man, I love the movement of the ailerons. I don't know, it's really nice. Right, and we need to go straight ahead and then turn right at November Echo. It's basically all the way down there. Very good. Tobias, really nice Monday, finally. I see someone flying the FlightFactor 767. Haha, yeah, clear right, clear left. Absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, we flew the 767 already on the live stream. And I have to admit, it is a beautiful airplane, and I prefer the way it flies to the 757. The 757 is really cool. I love the power, I love the sound, I prefer how the cockpit looks, but in terms of how the airplane feels, I prefer this one. I don't know. But man, I'm gonna have to be honest, I prefer, I mean, not that I prefer, but I'm becoming a really huge fan of the 777. Such a fantastic airplane. And we also need to revise the 737. After the new update, the 767 screams at me and pull up for no reason. Weren't they supposed to have that fixed? Alright, all clear on the left, clear on the right. I believe the last update actually addressed that, no? That's weird. Alright, starting to brake, we need to go there. So all clear on the left, all clear on the right, go within 10 knots, do a turn. Sync crash flyer, 767 plus 10 equals 777, so it's 10 times better. It should be 11 then. By the way, 11 is my lucky number. Alright, we're near the threshold of 08 right. November Echo, that's absolutely correct. Let's go transponder mode to altitude. Strobes on. I mean, the logo, don't really need it. Confirm that there is no one on final. I'll check it through the meter as well, and we'll do a call. Houston traffic, United 1024 heavy, lining up on a 08 right for departure. Houston traffic. We're clear to go. Let's go lights on. Before takeoff briefing. So remember, straight ahead until 600 and then right hand turn direct to either Bottle or Winnow, something like that. Packs are on auto, flaps set to 5, both the switch and the indicator. Stabilizer trim, oh, we didn't set the stabilizer trim. It was 1.8 units. That's what checklists are for. Oh, I felt when I was doing that before taxi preparation, I felt like I was 1.3 actually. I was missing something. Let's go for 1.3 there. Alright, speed brake lever is down to 10. Flight controls were checked. And cabin is secure. Very good. 1.3 is a long way down. There we go. 1.3 set after correction before takeoff checklist is complete. You guys are ready? Let's go. Put some EPR in. That's 40% stabilized. APR 155. Press set. Speed is alive. Mouse is distracting. There's 80 knots. Throttle hold. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Oh yes. Goodbye Houston. And we've got LNAV as well. Look at that pitch attitude. And we need VNAV. Alright, I know why that's happening. That's fine, I'm gonna go climb manually. Alright, let's go autopilot 1. Let's do flight level change. Flap 1. Flaps up. Should have just stick with a certain vertical speed. Gear off. Runway turn off, lights off. And we passed 3000, can actually just go direct. Alright, performance VNAV unavailable. Well, that's correct, because we actually didn't select anything. So let's go bottle, direct, execute. LNAV is on, VNAV is on, APR, VNAV speed. Approaching 5000. Well, we'll be climbing directly. Let's go 340. 340 is set. Switch to 1228. Synchronize the heading. Let me do a direct to bottle again. Speed VNAV pad. Let's actually do flight level change. Otherwise it will level off at 5000. Flight level change in speed, and off we go. Look at that! Holy cow! That is powerful. Very powerful. After takeoff checklist, packs, auto, landing gear, up, no lights. Flaps are up. Altimeters for now they are set as they were. After takeoff checklist is complete. Beautiful. Beautiful, in fact, because there is no traffic, I might just proceed direct to Rita. And this will give us VNAV, so APR VNAV speed. Tobias, you should do some more Austrian ops with the 767. I could do it. The thing is, Austrian flies quite some basically long haul with the 767 and LNAV. So I need to spend quite a lot of time in that. 10,000 feet. Lights are off. Seatbelt signs to auto. And we're accelerating to 322 knots, which feels and sounds absolutely incredible. Let's go weather radar on my side. Amazing. Amazing performance. Absolutely amazing. We've got a full set of passengers. It's absolutely incredible. Also, I want to try something here. I want to see if... I feel like this airplane is a little bit more floaty than 757. So when you start to descend, you actually have to descend a little bit early than you would normally. So... yeah. I want to see if this time we're going to get it right. If we're going to get it right. Absolutely crazy. Look at this, 4,000 feet a minute. What? I am amazed. I'm absolutely amazed. And am I using some kind of sound pack? Yes, I am. I'm using the FTSIM sound pack for the 767. I think. I mean, you can be a Patreon for $2 for like a month, an FTSIM, and you can download literally almost. I mean, basically all the packs he has there. So for $2, you get so much. So I've downloaded a bunch of them. 7576. I mean, I downloaded a bunch of them. I have them saved somewhere on the computer. But yeah, I mean, pretty impressive stuff. And it's a good sound pack. It's a nice sound pack. It is a properly nice sound pack. This one has to be here. Otherwise, bad things would happen. Probably let it there at maximum for a little bit, so the cabin climbs. Awesome, because the 767 really needs that. Yeah, that's true, and the 757 as well. Just the 777 is the only FlightFactor one I think that doesn't really require any outside view. Ah, beautiful. I mean, I like how this plane looks. It's really nice. There's 18,000. Let's go 29902. So standard set on both sides. Yep, reading the same. So this side here, 29902 as well. Very good. Completed everything, and we'll get into the cruise in no time, climbing with this rate. So 7 minutes. 7 times 5 is 3,500 feet. So we still haven't reached the cabin altitude we should have had at this altitude. We'll see. Leandro, hello, do you use Blue FX? I think so. Yes, I do. It's just a little bit, but I do. It's just a tiny bit. Which one is the Blue FX? Is it the left one or the right one? Let me check. Oh, interesting. So mine is slightly darker than X-Plane. Huh. Interesting. Contrast saturation. So yeah, I use it, but it's just like very minimal. Very minimal. Okay. So what am I looking at? Yeah, I can put this to 500 now. Good. Fantastic. So, guys, I've got what, 1 hour and 54 minutes. I think SimBrief was telling me 1 hour and 54 minutes of flight time for today's flight. And first things first, I need to create the poll for the next topics of the live stream. So give me a moment. Give me a moment, because I had a list. I created a list for myself so I could keep track on it, what was done and what wasn't done. So I need to add 3 of them. So create a poll. And first is gonna be this, then it's gonna be... this, and then it's gonna be... this. Alright. So, poll is created. You can vote now on the next topic for the next cruise. We're looking good. We're looking set up. So what I was telling you guys is that I didn't have the time to prepare a proper presentation like I did the other time. So what I have only is like a what is it called? Oh, what? Syncrash Flyer gifted 5 memberships, dude. Thank you. Thank you very much. Syncrash Flyer is getting tickets for the people, or actually, should I say? I mean, no. Initially, it's tickets, but once a person becomes a subscriber for a long time, it becomes a pilot as well. So, and I'm getting a phone call. I cannot accept it right now. Alright, and I'm back. So, yeah, if you are a long-term subscriber of the channel, you will become a pilot eventually. Thank you so much, Syncrash Flyer. That is really cool. And I'm enjoying the views. I am actually enjoying the views. The passengers from the left side are not going to enjoy that many views, because it's going to be mostly looking at the water, but the right side is going to be probably quite interesting. Anyways, I think I forgot to mention we're flying real-time, real weather. Okay, but anyways, Tobias, why I don't have a subscribe here? Now I do. Oh, thanks! Thanks for joining. So, we were supposed to talk, and we're not only supposed, we will talk about global circulation and the winds. We're going to talk a little bit about winds, not going too deep into that, but for me to show you stuff, I need to open my WhatsApp, and I need to load some pictures here. So let me start with all of these pictures, and I'll open these pictures by order. By order, please. And I need to open this picture. I need to open this picture. I need to open this. This is already good. I need to open this one. Like that. Beautiful. And then this one. It's actually quite useful. And then I need this one, and finally this one. So I got some pictures, I just didn't organize them. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah. Tobias, be right back. I have to do some school stuff. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, we're also reaching our cruising levels, so let's switch to vertical speed. Let's do plus 800 to do a soft interceptor plus 900. So speed, vertical speed. We're looking good. We're looking very good. In fact, optimum is 360. Let's go to 360 actually, perhaps. Maybe let's do that. Let's do plus 1000, and let's do 360 on the cruise. Why not? Beautiful. Or maybe that was due to the winds, but I don't mind going a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. Okay, so, you know what? I will start with Paint, because Paint is the best whiteboard there is on a computer. You can do so much on Paint. and we will be analyzing and remembering some of the stuff we talked about on last time. Alright, so how can I make this like that? So you should be able to see the screen now. So last time on the cruise we spoke about properties of the air, and we spoke about the atmosphere, about the layers of the atmosphere. We talked about the troposphere, the tropopause. We talked a little bit about the stratosphere. Why is it an isothermal layer? What's an isothermal layer? And how does it affect the weather creation? We talked about energy transfers. So, for instance, how our sun heats our planet, or the Earth radiates heat back to the atmosphere or into the space. And how do we have different energy transfers, and how that can create and affect weather, as well as we spoke about latent heat, water vapor, all that interaction. Okay, so there's 1,000 to go, less than 1,000 to go, in fact 800 feet to go, so perfect. So if we look at the Earth, right, and you guys remember we spoke about this, that our atmosphere is not linear. So if it's going to be a side profile of the Earth, a little bit of a curved, in fact I think I could just draw a shape here. So let's imagine this is planet Earth, right here, and we've got a nice sun here somewhere, so the Earth is tilted, right? We're going to assume there's going to be an equator somewhere along here. Approximately it's going to be like the equator, and the sun heats our planet, right? So we get energy or radiation from the sun, and there is altitude hold. So let me just re-engage back VNAV. There's VNAV path. Everything seems good. Heading seems good. We got time. Let's focus on the rest. So we spoke on the last time that the atmosphere is not exactly the same in terms of altitude or length, or however you want to interpret it. That on the poles, the atmosphere, or for instance, we spoke specifically about the tropopause, would be at a height of roughly 8 kilometers, right? But on the equator, the troposphere could be as high as 15 to 16 kilometers. And that was specifically due to the heating of the planet. And to understand that, you need to imagine, you need to analyze some cross-sections of the Earth. So let's say if I zoom in a little bit into the planet, and we analyze the same amount of area right here in the equatorial range, on the subtropical, I believe this is subtropical area, I think this is how it's called, and on the polar area. So we need to account for how much radiation each area receives. Of course, this one being the closest one, or the most direct to the sun, will receive the biggest amount of energy, right? This one is not going to be that direct, or should I say the same amount of sun energy is going to take a longer area, or a bigger area. And the same happens into the pole. So the same energy, the same solar energy, will be spread into a much wider area, and because of that it's going to be quite colder. So what this makes, essentially, it heats up, or it warms up differently our planet, and this will create 3 main cells of air. We're going to call them cells of air. You will see why in a minute. I'll show you a nice picture, much better than my drawing here, and you will understand why. So what this effectively does is, on the equator area, you will get a lot of heating. Alright, and let me just delete some of this stuff because this is not really required this time. I'll put some North Pole. So on the equator you get a lot of heat, and you guys know that when you get a lot of heat, what happens to the air? Through convection, it will start to go up. When it starts to go up, it cools down, and it has to go somewhere, right? When it cools down, it goes somewhere. So it goes like that. Eventually, after some time and cooling down, it will start to go down. coincidentally, because it goes down on this side, on the other side it also finds some cool air that goes down from another part that was also heated. And this one will go towards the pole, which is the coldest one. And this is kind of how it happens. But these are the three cells that essentially define the global circulation of our planet. And they are created due to the different heating of our planet. These cells are slightly different from winter to summer, or should I say from the northern to the southern hemisphere. Before you get a stroke by watching my picture, I'll just show you a proper picture that you should be able to see right now. As you can see here, of course, with the movement of air, you also get pressure systems, right? So as you can see here on this picture, for instance, it's already written here on the equator, because the air goes up. As the air goes up, it means it's a low pressure. The air goes away from the ground. And it's a rising air, so it has a lot of vertical... oh, I'm missing the name, Jesus Christ. It's convection, but it's vertical... whatever, it's a lot of uplift, so it creates a lot of weather. So you will have something that's called the intertropical convergence zone, because essentially the winds are going from both sides to the equator, converging and going upwards very high into the atmosphere, creating extremely high clouds. In fact, we can see it on wind. If I put the satellite imagery, you will see that intertropical convergence zone. Look at it, it's right here. You can see all the cumulonimbus created. You would say, well, this is a little bit to the south of the equator. This makes no sense, right? So the ETCZ, the intertropical convergence zone, is a little bit to the south now. So it doesn't fit exactly with the equator. And I would say you are absolutely right, because right now we are during winter times in the northern hemisphere and summer in the southern hemisphere. So that means that the southern part of our planet is heated more than the northern one. So the intertropical convergence zone doesn't exactly go strictly by the equator. It moves by the seasons. So if you would look something like in a summer, perhaps the intertropical convergence zone would be somewhere along here, Mexico, north of Africa. I mean, not exactly north of Africa, but a little bit towards the north, not exactly close to that side. It would be coming close to India there, perhaps, a little bit of this area. In fact, I think I can have... Do I have an option to archive? Let's check summer. Let's check like August something. Let it check. And as you can see, look at it going. It was right here, as I was showing you, and now look where it is. Much higher. So these things shift. These things shift with the seasonal time, and they can define a lot in terms of weather. So speaking of cells, these are the main cells, and this is how, in terms of ground level, air circulates through the planet. Additionally, you might be asking me now, but hey Vlad, yeah, sure, I can get this circulation going up and down as it cools or it heats up and goes all around it. For instance, on the polar side we always have a high pressure, even though it's cold weather. But why are the arrows going sideways? For instance, on this side it's going towards that side, on this side it's going towards that side. Why is it not exactly on a direct line if it's going from a low pressure to a high pressure? And I'll tell you, you have a very, very good point. And that's one of the topics of global circulation. So how is wind created in the first place? okay? So wind is usually created when you have a low and a high pressure, so a difference between pressures. Of course, the air will tend to flow from the high to the low if we're looking at the ground level, right? Because on the upper level this will go up, right? Then it's gonna cool down and go down, and the cycle repeats. But it's not exactly as straight as this looks. As I told you, we use models to understand the basic stuff, but then in reality it is a little bit more complex. So we have a couple of forces that act on air particles in the atmosphere. What you see, this force right here, this straight line, it's called the pressure, pressure gradient force. Essentially, what it tells you is that the air will always flow from a high pressure to a low pressure on a surface level, of course. Okay. However, there is something called the Coriolis effect. And the Coriolis effect is something... Oh yes, speaking of weather, sorry. Don't forget what I was saying, but check this out. So equator, as you can see, lots of heat. So intertropical convergence zone, air goes up. So the vertical extent of the clouds and vertical development, this is what I wanted to say, the vertical development is very steep, and it stops at the troposphere, right at the top of it. Air circulates back, goes down. Always on the border of two air masses you will have a jet stream. This is where the subtropical jet will be there. Here you have a high pressure, usually means good weather, no vertical development, etc., etc. In fact, this is interesting to see, and after I'll finish explaining all of this, we'll go into windy, and we will be looking at the type of clouds just by looking at the pressure systems. So air going here again, you have a low pressure, you have another, this one is a front, polar jet, bad weather again, North Pole, high pressure, no vertical development. So what is the Coriolis effect? Now that we came back to the previous team, and let me just check the chat. Tyson, yo, what's going on? Dude, welcome to livestream. We're just talking here about global circulation of air and a little bit about winds, pressure systems, and so on. Joshua, do you think I could run at maximum graphics settings on a laptop with the RTX 5000 series? I have no idea. I have no idea how much VRAM do you have. Maybe it's possible. I mean, an RTX 3060 already runs so much better than my poor old 2070. So probably, I don't know. I don't know. I think you could ask on Reddit or something. There would be definitely somebody on the internet with the same computer as you that could answer your question. So sorry for that. Alright, so anyways, what is exactly the Coriolis effect? So as you guys know, the Earth rotates, right? And when it rotates, well, the stuff that's with it, in this case the atmosphere, also rotates to a certain point. So when a particle of air is deflected in a certain area, in a certain direction, because it is initially traveling at the relative speed of rotation at that place where it is rotating, it will get deflected. So essentially, I have a better picture than this is. I like this one just so you guys can see the relative speed of the Earth. So this picture is what happens with the Coriolis effect. Let's say one of you guys in the north is in the North Pole, right? And he's about to kick a ball or throw a ball to somebody who is standing on the equator, right? So because he's standing on the North Pole and the relative speed here is 0, the ball will not account for the rotation speed that is present on the equator. So when he will drop the ball, what will happen is during the Earth's rotation, the ball will make this path. So essentially, while it travels, right, the Earth continues to rotate, and your colleague will be past the initial aiming point. So this is why particles traveling from north to south in the northern hemisphere will be deflected towards the west or towards the left. What happens in the southern hemisphere is a mirrored situation, essentially. The same thing will happen, or the opposite thing will happen, when you throw a ball from the equator to the South Pole, because on the equator the relative speed of the Earth's rotation is higher. The ball will travel apparently further. So what this will happen is that the air, instead of traveling in a straight line from a high pressure to a low pressure, will actually be traveling somewhat in circles. That's why when you look at cyclones on the weather report or something, they're always rotating, right? And that's something called the geostrophic wind. So let's say, or I mean, it's not linear, but I'm going to draw something that's called the isobars. So these lines here are bars that unite places that have the exact same pressure, okay? So this is usually how it's kind of looking. So let's say I'm going to just add random numbers. This is going to be QNH 90900. This is going to be QNH 90905. This is going to be QNH 1000. This is going to be QNH 1005. This is going to be QNH 1010. And this is going to be QNH 1015. So first things first, northern hemisphere, this is going to be an anticyclone, high pressure. The particles will be deflected towards the right. Wait, am I saying this right? Yes, I'm saying this right. So what it will do is essentially will rotate like this. Let me do with a proper color. And they will be parallel or almost parallel to the isobars. Of course, as they go away from the pressure systems, they will enter the low pressure, and they will be starting to rotate counterclockwise, at least on the northern hemisphere. Essentially, I think I have a picture here. No, I don't have, but this one kind of works. So you go from high to low. There's the pressure gradient force plus the Coriolis force. The resulting path will be a curved path. And the wind will be parallel to the isobars. Not linearly, but it will. Funnily, when you go down and you start accounting into something like ground surface friction, the Coriolis effect starts to lose its strength, and so the air starts to flow into a much more linear direction. Not much, but it will have an effect. So for instance, there is even a mnemonic for this. Let's say you are in the cruise, or you are, I don't know, 3,000 feet, and the air or the wind is, I don't know, let's say 100 at 5 knots or 10 knots. So what could be the possible direction of the wind? And there's a mnemonic for this. When you go down, so when you go back to the ground, the wind backs. And backing means essentially decreasing the heading. So let's say wind could be like 080 at 5. Something like that. So this would be the basic understanding of global circulation. Pressure gradient force, essentially the air flows from the high to the low. Coriolis effect. There is also a second force, It's called the centrifugal force. Essentially what you have in your washing machine at home when you're trying to take all the water from your clothes. It essentially rotates very much, pushing the water to the outsides. The same happens here, and that's why theoretically on a high pressure the winds are going to be stronger, because, well, as it rotates, of course, the centrifugal force will push it outwards. So the wind will be faster. However, it's not exactly like that in the real time or in the real world. In the real world, it's much more important to see what is the difference between the pressure differences. So let's say, let me create a new one. Let's say you have, I don't know, a low pressure here and a high pressure here, and the isobars are like this. And then they go like this. Where would you have the higher winds? Of course, at the zone of the higher pressure difference. Alright, are you guys getting this? Are you guys understanding? Am I saying something very complicated? I hope not. But this is like the basic of it. And I think I got carried away. I started talking about the intertropical convergence zone. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, because the movement of the intertropical convergence zone actually brings news, new aspects that we can talk about regarding weather. So that's really interesting as well. So let's see, guys. Let's analyze. Let's go here. Let's check out pressure. Where's pressure? I can never find pressure. I don't know why. I'm just always having an extremely hard time finding pressure. But it should be somewhere down here. This is air quality. Pressure. Okay, there we go. So let's analyze. For instance, we can immediately see there's a high pressure here, rotating clockwise. And as you can see, the air near the system is rotating basically, I would say, parallel to the system. As it goes out, it then enters a low pressure, which is right here. In this case, almost two low pressures. This is going to be a front right here. And there is a second one here that's coming up into Portugal very, very soon. So let's see, what can we expect in terms of weather, of course. High pressure means what? Means descending air. That means less vertical development. That means there probably won't be any thunderstorms, unless there will be like a sporadic extreme heating or something else that will be lifting the air for whatever reason. Let's say a mountain. So what type of weather could we expect in this area? Like clouds, probably low-level clouds, not very high. Some hazy conditions, perhaps, because when you have high pressure, all of the particles in the air, like dust, smokes, and all of that, they cannot flow upward into the atmosphere and improve the visibility. So let's switch. I'm going to zoom in on purpose, and I'm going to switch to the satellite imagery, and we'll check what type of clouds do we have here, if we have any. Oh wait, why am I still in the archive? I don't want to be in the archive. There we go. So what can we see here? A lot of clear sky. These clouds are yellowish clouds, and yellowish clouds in the visible spectrum of this picture means low-level clouds. So the whiter they are, the colder they are. That means the higher they go. So as you can see, all of this area affected by the anticyclone, or the high pressure area, has very little vertical development of clouds that are mostly low level. Now, I'm going to change back to the pressure. Where is the pressure again? It was in wind. Here it is. So I'm going to zoom back out, And we're gonna zoom in into some cyclones. Let's see here. This one is close to the UK, or maybe this one. Let's check this out. So what type of weather would you expect here? This is rising air going upwards into the atmosphere, bringing everything with it: moisture, dust, particles. So we could have an improved visibility, but a vertical development, some vertical development, and that means precipitation, perhaps snow, right? Showers, thunderstorms. Let's see, satellite picture. Oh yeah, look at it. Look at how higher these clouds are. They're all whitish. And if I engage the weather radar, look at that. It's all snowy. And we can check even if we go here to the meteogram and we analyze. Look at the precipitation. Pretty significant. We could also check the other two cyclones. Look, here's another cyclone, this one. And there was a closer one to Portugal, which I told you is right here. Look at the amount of weather that's creating. And here's a front. And there's a front. Oh, and of course, there's no way I won't show you this. These are the surface pressure charts. These black lines are the ones that I showed you. They're called the isobars. They unite areas of equal pressure. So you can see low pressure there on the northern part of England. Not really a cyclone here. There's one in the middle of the Atlantic. There is the high one. This is the yellowish that we saw. This is the low one close to the border of Canada. In fact, this one, sorry. There is a small high pressure. And these are the fronts that it creates. Actually, that one wasn't the front. Oh wait, this is 00 UTC. Well, let's see, 12 UTC. We are, what, 18? 18... Yeah, 12. 12 is going to be the enough. So, look at that. That's cold front, warm front. I'm going to talk about fronts later, but for now, this is it's going to be pretty cool. Mendlam 5564. Hello! Welcome to the live stream, dude. How are you? We're turning somewhere. We're turning somewhere. Let's check. Let's proceed direct to Nugus. Or wait, is that a direct? Yeah, it's a straight line. Alright, no need to turn. No need to turn there. Beautiful. Right, so anyways, I think you got the idea about what basic global circulation is. Essentially, it happens due to the different heating of our planet. That in itself creates different currents of air, directions of air, or should I say differences in pressure as well. Differences in pressure will move air. This air will experience different forces. Pressure gradient force, this is the basic from high to low. Coriolis force due to the Earth's rotation. Centrifugal force, just like in your washing machine, accelerating the particles in the outward direction if they're going that way. However, of course, wind strength is always dependent on the distance of the isobars. So if we analyze, for instance, this area right here would have very little winds, while this area would have pretty high winds. And we can check that. If I put the wind and we check here the Atlantic area where the high pressure is, 7 knots, 14 knots, what do we have here? 16 knots, 4 knots. So this is, yeah, this area right here. If we go close to the cyclones, you can immediately see 41 knots, 38, 30, 17. We literally double the speed because of the difference of pressure. Additionally, we spoke about the intertropical convergence zone, that it happens or it moves. Let me show you. That it changes position from summer or winter, of course, depending on the continent that you are. So we could say July, because the northern hemisphere is heated much more into July. So these are the areas mostly affected by significant weather, and this is the areas affected by significant weather on winter. And as we later will see, I'm not going to show it today, but later, this will also affect very much the local weather of different countries. For instance, in India, or like Northern Australia, Brazil, Equatorial Africa, the Caribbean, and etc. Stanka, yes, it all makes sense slightly. I got a D in meteorology in college. But it's cool. I hope you are at least understanding something, and it's not too confusing for you. The most amazing thing for me is once you start to learn meteorology and you go into, I don't know, apps like Windy or something like that, and you just start exploring the winds or seeing where the things are. Like, you could basically find where a jet stream lays just by looking at clouds, which is really impressive. It was really cool. I sometimes can find it, not always, but sometimes I can find it. Like, for instance, I would say the jet stream is going somewhere along here right now. So if I go towards the wind again, and I put like a higher altitude, perhaps like flight level 340, look at it. Did you see it there? Oh, look at it go. Just by the top of clouds. So that's really nice. You start to learn all of this thing. You start to understand why it happens, how it can affect your flight, what can you expect en route, what can you expect of changes of weather, and all of that. And actually this one explains also, like the Coriolis force, for instance, it explains why the air mostly flows from left to right in our planet, and that's why the flights that are flying from west to east always take less time than the flights that go backwards from east to west. That's really cool. And jet streams always form on the border of those different cells. Like the main cells we saw, like the basic circulation cells, they always form there because there's a high difference of pressure. And that high difference of pressure, for reasons I can't really understand, but it essentially accelerates the air very quickly in that area. Combined with all the Coriolis force and all of that, it accelerates quite a lot and creates a jet stream. And that's why you can fly, I don't know, 1,100 kilometers above the Earth while still doing it. So that's pretty cool. I really like meteorology. Man, it's quick here over Japan. It was really quick. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little, not exactly 15 minutes, more like half an hour lecture on global circulation, winds, and so on. And I hope you will learn something with it. Tobias, what will be the right way to pronounce it? Tobias, or yeah, Tobias, I guess. Okay, you're back. So I even updated the 767s. It should be okay now. Yep, it's pretty good. And it looks like we've got into some clouds. I mean, not we are inside of them, but we are definitely in the middle of some layers, which is a little bit unfortunate because I was really looking forward into checking out a little bit of Mexico down there. In fact, did we even cross Mexico already? Did we even cross into Mexico? Yes, we did. We crossed at Bro. Bro is the entry almost. Bro is almost the entry point into Mexico. So we are officially in Mexico. Very cool. Stan, I live in the middle of the United States and we get some pretty extreme weather here, all due to how the jet stream cuts the US in half. Right now the jet stream has let us have a very warm winter. I wouldn't exactly say that the jet stream is the culprit of your weather, because the jet stream is a result of a front. So let me bring back the pictures for a second. I think this one is the best. Not this one, sorry. Not that one. Not that one as well, god damn it. Alright, I pressed every picture apart from the one I needed. So let me show you this. So as you can see here, the jet stream, I mean, it wouldn't happen and unless there would be the front, there would be that conflict between two masses of air, and also masses of air. I mean, I could there will be definitely a picture here. Yeah, this one. This is what I want. Can I open it? Like full, like to the fullest. So these are the basic masses of air that there are in the world, and essentially the difference is very simple. It's either hot, cold, wet, or dry. So, for instance, this is maritime. Is it that way? Maritime, yeah, I guess so. Maritime equatorial, maritime. Is there a word for that? Or I could call it humid. I want to. Yeah, maritime. This is right. Okay, so I'm not inventing a word. You know, knowing 3 languages and speaking fluently on 3 languages, sometimes, I mean, it's very good, but at the same time, it can fry your brain extremely efficiently. Anyways, essentially it is. If it's maritime, it's humid. It means it is located near an area where there's a lot of water. It's either literally the ocean, or it's the equatorial area, because it rains a lot there, as you know. So there's this mass of air, huge, always in the same place, and this is where your bad weather will happen. This is where the huge clouds, huge thunderstorms of the size of countries, sometimes of the size of Portugal, that's very little Portugal right there, will happen in the middle of Africa or South America, and you would have to divert 200 miles off track to avoid it. Maritime tropical, so this is already on the other cell on this one, okay? Either tropical because it's above the water, or continental, so it's because it's above the ground, above the terrain. It means it's going to be dry. And again, what I believe here would have in North America is either continental tropical or maritime tropical mixing up with continental polar. And when polar mixes with tropical, usually it's pretty aggressive because it's very cold with slightly cold. And that's why you have a lot of vertical development as well. And also, as you can see by this picture, this is where they both go kind of up. This is where you get fronts, and this is where you go up. There is no exact way of predicting the weather, so I don't believe there is a way. And even my meteorology teacher, which is like an incredible guy, if you would meet him, if you would sit for an hour in a meteorology lesson with him, you would be like, this guy's a genius. He knows so much. He explains so well. It's amazing. And there is no way to forecast an exact happening of or predict a certain weather. He says that any forecast that's been done with more than 48 hours of prediction is witchcraft. And you guys know how many times did the forecast tell you like tomorrow is gonna rain, or tomorrow is gonna be sunny, or tomorrow is gonna be this or that, and then it happens the opposite, or it doesn't happen, or whatever. So yeah, the jet stream is not exactly the culprit for this. It sounds like I think the jet stream is something that people think like, whoa, this is something like very wow, it could affect the weather, but the jet stream is actually a product of the mixing of these two, or should I say the front of the collision of these two different masses of air. Okay, what the jet stream can do though, and it does a lot of the times, check out next time when you'll see one of those news where like plane was hit by turbulence in the middle of the cruise, passengers injured, blah 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 blah. I can almost bet you 100% they were flying close or in a jet stream area, because jet stream is very quick winds, very quick winds, as you guys noticed by just looking at that. You guys know it, and it can be very turbulent there. And the funny thing is, it can be turbulent like for that plane, and then the next plane passes in the exact same location and it's not turbulent at all. So that's why when it comes to SimBrief, and we usually analyze the areas of turbulence, you can always see these red ones. It's turbulence, and clear air turbulence. They're mostly always associated with jet streams, and you can see, look at the jet stream going, and look at the red area. It's essentially accompanying all the time the jet stream. So for instance, right now, you said you lived in the middle of the United States, so I would think more or less about here. Check this out, you're almost getting hit by the jet stream. However, you still said that the weather has been pretty good. But yeah, I hope this puts a clear picture for you, like the way you understand. And if we, for instance, analyze this jet stream here, means there will be a front somewhere along here, and that will mean that we go icing, a lot of clear air turbulence, not a lot of vertical development because it's cold, it's winter time, right? So there's not going to be a lot of vertical development, but that doesn't mean there will be no precipitation, and no snow, no showers, no all of that. So let's just analyze this area, remember this, and I'm gonna find surface pressure charts, USA, United States. There will be this one, the National Weather Service, and North America, please. Oh my god, so this is not very useful. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is terrible to look at. Oh, I can't read this. I mean, I can, but it's terrible for you guys. It's horrible. Surface temperature maps. Can you have a slightly nicer one? Okay, just quit. Maybe the Weather Channel. So you can see there is a front there. It's going up there, but can't see it very well. Alright, I'll try to analyze. Let's see. So what is happening here, you can see very barely, or very badly should I say. There is a small front here, it's going both sides. That means it's an it's not an occluded front. There's a name for that. It essentially means that the air masses are not colliding, but they are sliding on one another. And when they are sliding on one another, they still will create a little bit of that. So, and as you can see here on the northern part of Canada, and this is exactly where we saw on SimBrief is going up. It's that area of northern Canada on the way into Alaska. So if we now go into windy, let's see how's the cloud development there. I'm going to put satellite imagery. Look at it. You can immediately see, and we can go there and see any forecast. Let's see here, Kelowna, for instance. What do we have? Rain, showers, rain. Campbell River, rain, 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 rain. So that's how it kind of works. That's how it kind of works. But I don't. This thing easily in a couple of days could be right here. So who knows? I'm gonna predict that in maybe 5 days, 5 to 6 days, you could get some rain or some snow. Maybe. Again, it's like a very broad prediction. But yeah. Well, I guess I'll have a nice flight. I'll go eat something. I'll be hopping on Copenhagen ground shortly. Awesome. But like I said, have a nice session, dude. Have a nice session. Sweet learning time. I sit about where the warm, wet Gulf air meets cold Arctic air blowing down air over Canada. Oh, there you go. As you can see, so you are on an area of conflict between two air masses, and once they collide, it becomes quite interesting. And of course, then you'll get the jet stream over you. So it makes all sense. I love it. Zach Nixon. In NC, storms always come from northwest except for hurricanes. Exactly. And hurricanes, now that you brought a very, very interesting point. Hurricanes, which essentially stand for tropical revolving storms, their formation is slightly different. First things first, there is a very specific set of conditions for them to form. So if those conditions won't exist, those storms will not exist as well. Then, to be considered a tropical revolving storm, I think it's revolving, I think so, they have to comply with a certain set of characteristics. I can't remember them by mind, but I think it's the wind from a certain, I mean, it's like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or maybe I'm mistaking something, but it essentially depends on the wind speed. I think it's just wind speed, mostly. Or maybe size, but I think it's mostly wind speed. So like wind speed on the pressure system. But yeah, hurricanes, that's what they call them in the United States. For instance, in Japan and China, they are called... what's the name? Typhoon? No, I think those are the winds. There's another name, but essentially that's like a local name. And every place on the world they're called slightly differently, but essentially it's kind of the same. So yeah, typhoon. Thank you very much. So that's it. And yes, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Cooler. Sometimes the forecast tells me there's clear skies while the rain is actively falling on me. That can happen. That can happen. You know what can happen sometimes, especially on summer, what does happen is that you get, I mean, like the weather conditions are supposed to be calm, like very hot, but calm, no rain, no nothing. But because it is calm and extremely hot, it actually heats up the air so much that it starts to build convective activity. And then you will have all that thunderstorm, lightning shows, hail in the middle of summer, and all of that. So yeah. Thanks, man. My meteorology teacher was fantastic as well, super knowledgeable and interesting. My bad grade was more due to other difficult classes pulling my attention away. Super interesting. I'm glad you're liking it, man. I'm glad you're liking, and I will be continuing onwards for this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking, I created a document for myself where I keep track of what we have talked about and what we're going to talk next. So my idea is this. We started speaking about meteorology, And while this feels like just meteorology, in fact, this knowledge will affect your decision making for flight planning, for instance. It will affect the performance of the airplane directly. It will affect the operational procedures that you will comply with. It will affect... what else could it affect? Airplane systems. I don't know, there's so much, and the beauty of it, it is all interconnected. And I really like this. So, it's amazing. And very well on the Typhoon thing. Thank you very much. Вадим, Влад, привет, хорошего стрима и полета. Спасибо большое. Привет, рад видеть тебя на стриме. Alright guys, we've got 160 miles to the top of descent. That's calculated. 160 miles at this speed. We're going at what? Where's our ground speed? 449. 449, true airspeed is 467. So we're getting a little bit of a headwind. Oh, speaking of which, if I'm not mistaken, jet streams are to be considered jet streams when the wind speeds are above 60 knots. So right now we are flying in a jet stream. However, they are only displayed on the significant weather charts when they go above 80. So theoretically, we're right now flying in a jet stream, which is pretty cool. All right. Anyways, let's start preparing the approach. I think it's a good idea to see because we're actually not that far out. Oh, wait. Weather? Do we really get weather here? But this is probably just precipitation. Yeah, it's just radar. Layers. Significant weather meter. Turbulence sizing, reflectivity. What is this? Okay, no, no. Thank you. How can I switch? Okay, I can switch it off here. What is telemetry? Okay, widget. Fine, so we're flying just fine. Let me switch this off. I press this so I can see where we are in terms of positioning. So we're going for the Inaga. Inaga RNAV star, page 10-2 Bravo. And interestingly, we get a very nice altitude restrictions here at Inaga flight level 300. And there is a very good reason for that, guys. Check this out. 17,718 feet. So these two are huge volcanoes quite close to Mexico City. In fact, I believe that Mexico City is like in a small valley surrounded by pretty extremely high terrain, which is really cool. So MSA for us, 19,400, 12,100, and 14,800. So no jokes here. And hence the altitude restrictions. So we'll follow with the restrictions to be clear of terrain. Pretty simple here, max 230 knots. No wonder why, because the airfield itself is located at 7,297, and you guys already know that when we fly high, even though our indicated speed 272 seems pretty okay, we're actually flying almost double of it. So yeah, pretty simple. We go to this, to Mike X-Ray 755, 18,000, Mike X-Ray 759. So my suggestion is the following. From this waypoint here, you could just proceed direct to Almes, because this here is done for traffic purposes. Zone of possible pass towards Almes, and that's exactly what we'll do. So from Mike X-Ray 755, we'll proceed direct to Almes. This will not affect our descent at all, because, well, we're going to comply with the altitude restrictions. From there, we're going to fly max 210 to the initial approach fixed, also at max 210, UK 10 above 12,500. And from here, we're going to jump into the ILS Zulu, runway 05 right. Okay? So, frequencies 109.1055. Let me set that alright. 055 set. And we're mandatory 8,900, that's our platform altitude for capturing of the ILS. Decision altitude 7,566. Now this is going to be interesting, but I would love to put 7,556, so 550 is here, so I'll do it here. It's going to be our minimus. Right, elevation we checked, MSA we checked. This is based, by the way, on Mexico VOR. We also talked about that, because this is either based on the reference point or on a radio station. Transition level 195. Speaking of that, I believe. Oh well, this airplane doesn't really warn you. I was thinking about changing that because the airplane might start to warn you. Transition level 195, transition altitude 18.5, RNAV 1 required for transition missed approach, GNSS required. So sounds all good. 1091, 1055. So from UK10, 12.5, we go to Sutas at 11, then to Mike X-Ray 901 mandatory 9,700. So perhaps we could get some GPWS alerts here. And speaking of GPWS, I am definitely enabling terrain radar on my site. Absolutely, for sure. And I mean, even on flight level 360, we can already see some green terrain, which is interesting. Alright, continuing onwards. From Mike X-Ray 901, we get to Mike X-Ray 900. And that's going to be our final approach fix at 8,900 for a 3.1 degrees descent into that. So we are expecting, with our approach speeds roughly 140, about 770 feet a minute. So sounds good. We check latest weather. Visibility, oh wait, this is Houston, sorry. 3 statute mile, haze, sky condition clear. So it is going to be hazy. It is going to be hazy. And speaking of this, let's check our theory. You guys remember I told you haze usually means that we have a high pressure there because the bad stuff doesn't go away. Perhaps it could be also pollution, but let's try it. Let's try and see if we do have any high pressure here over Mexico. So if I go to, I mean, I can already see it's probably going to be a high pressure there. If I go to more layers and I go pressure, it should be yellowish and red. There we go. There is your answer on that. So very good. I'm gonna close this so it doesn't eat any RAM. Close this, close this, close that, leave this, close this. Fantastic. Right, so from this we're gonna go with that. In case we lose the glide path, we can still do the localizer. Minimas are a little bit higher, and we have our altitudes here, but that's fine. Very important thing is to be configured already by here, because it's just 4.7 miles to the runways, like less than 5 miles. So we are actually 1,600 feet above the runway. Yeah. Alright, so this is gonna be cool. In case we got missed, we'll climb on track. Mike X-Ray 949, proceed on the missed approach to Eprim. To Eprim, and then we're gonna try another, according to ATC, for us, we're gonna try another approach. That sounds perfectly fine to me. If we land, we're landing on 05 right. We will go perhaps to Terminal 1, so I would either go on Echo 2, if we'll be able to, on Echo 2, or taxi via Golf Charlie. Perhaps not Charlie, but Bravo. Bravo all the way to Terminal 1 and park there. Speaking of parking positions, let's check here. Parking gates, Terminal 1. Yes, so where is it? Golf, Charlie 2, Bravo, all the way down there into one of these positions. I think it would sound good. Alright, And with this, we kind of already made the briefing, but let's just recheck it. I just need to set the flap speed and so on. I'm going to land with flaps 30. 135, 134, so plus 5, 139. So it's exactly as we were expecting. Auto brakes will be 3. Or perhaps 2. I think 2 should be enough. Let's do 2. 2 should be enough. Yeah, 2 should be enough. And let's do a very quick arrival briefing, like a quite simple and basic one, just so we can review this. So, status of the airplane, everything seems to be absolutely fine. Weather is good, apart from the haze. Well, it's slightly improved for statute mile, but other than that, it's totally fine. We checked the NOTAMs. We had some stands closed. In fact, we've got a lot of stands closed. So perhaps I can just check very quickly if this is 34, 34, 34. I don't see any stand. 13, 16, 17, 18, and 21. Where is that? Oh, it's right here. So we're gonna go for stand 11. Stand 11 is not closed, right? Yeah, I didn't see stand 11 there, so our stand is number 11. Anti-air should not be required unless we get into some significant clouds. A terrain radar will be on my side, 100% sure. Our top of descent calculated is, I'll just go with the airplane. I just want to see how it will fly now, especially because we have a lot of constraints. We are arriving, already briefed. This is page 10-2 Bravo in Aga 3 Alpha. Checked that already. Couple of altitude restrictions. Flight level 300 in Naga, above 27 Mike X-ray 751, and then Mike X-ray 755 at 18,000 mandatory to 30 knots. I'm going to comply with that. Then to Almes 14,000 to 10, Hook 10 above 12.5, max 210 as well. Alright. We are approaching ILS Zulu runway 05, page 11-1. Effective 12th June of 2025, so that seems all good to me. We've briefed it. We've briefed the missed approach as well. Essentially puts us perfectly for second try. And radar navs are set 109.1055 on the course for the ILS. Our alternate fuel, or minimum diversion fuel, how I call it, crap, I dropped the pen, 4.7 tons. We are right now running with 7.2, and we are expecting to be there with 5.7. So we have 1 ton to play with. I believe we can surely make at least one go around in the second approach. Alright, from there we're gonna go with flaps full, speed 134, so plus 5 is gonna be 139. Auto brakes 2 maximum reverse. I also don't want to use a lot of the auto brakes because otherwise we might have an extended cooling time due to the extra altitude. It's not very hot though, it's 15 degrees, so perhaps not big of a deal, but still. I'll use auto brake 3 then. So planned exit, it's either Echo 2, runway is long enough, it's 4 kilometers, 4,094 meters, or 13,432 feet, so pretty fine. Auto brake 3 reverse, yeah, exit and taxi to stand 11. No special considerations apart from the fact that there is a lot of high terrain, and we will be monitoring that. And also that we will do a shortcut from Mike X-ray 755 to Almes, then to Hook 10, and etc. That sounds about it. We're not overweight. The rest seems fine. So that's the brief complete. We now have a pretty good mental picture for what lays ahead of us, and we can actually focus on flying the airplane. So that's wonderful. Alright, German flight simmer, hey! Good to see you here. That chart looks really interesting. I've actually never been to Mexico City in the sim, but I bought Map Enhancement Pro license yesterday, and I just might have found my first destination. German Flight Simmer. It is really cool. Highly suggest you to check the Mexico City region. And in fact, who remembers here when we flew the Piper, the Seneca? We did like an overweight flight, and we took off from a small airfield located not very far from Mexico City. I don't remember what's the exact name of it, but something from Zaragoza, something like that. The Mexican pronunciation of Spanish is weird. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, so I'm sorry. Yeah. But we flew, and it was pretty awesome. There were some pretty interesting areas there. Very, very cool. Cooler. Mexico City is inside a former lake. Oh! Tenochtitlan used to be on an island in the lake. Oh, really? Whoa. So wait, did they dry it out, or was it like naturally created? Man, that's... Holy cow, this is so cool. I love live streaming for this. I love just flying to different places and knowing a little bit about them. It's so nice. I've been to Mexico City twice, Zach. There are 2 airports, one in the city center and then one in the north, which takes about 45 minutes taxi to reach the center. Which one are you flying to? I'm flying to the bigger one, so I believe the one that you said in the middle of the city. Because the one you said that's on the north, I'm not going to that one. I'm not going to that one. I'm going to the I mean, they're both international, but I'm going to the one that's literally sitting in the middle of the city. And I'm starting to see some terrain a little bit. Alright, anyway, we need to do a couple of things. First thing, we need to do our landing altitude, because this airplane is a Boeing and it requires to do so, and it's 7,300. Which is funny because it is 800 feet below what it is in the plane right now. Then I will be setting 18,000 feet as our initial altitude, initial descent altitude. For me to remember that at 18,000 at Mike X-Ray 755 we'll proceed direct to Almes. I just don't want to do it now in the case that we eventually get any ATC. And speaking of ATC, there is actually a tower in Mexico on 118,550. So that's set. And it's information Charlie, weather 04025, 3 statute mile, haze, sky conditions clear, temperature 140.04, QNH 3042. Very interesting, because this is absolutely not what I have in the Navigraph. In the Navigraph it states 3038, and here it states 3042. It's a 1 QNH difference essentially, so I'll have to cheat on this one and check what does X-Plane actually say. 3041, so neither of those. So 3042 is actually more correct, so I'll put 3042 already on the standby so we don't forget it. It's a 500 feet of difference, as you can see, almost. So pretty cool. Cooler, I know Spanish from Latin American heritage, so I find the Spanish from Spain to be odd. Funny. And yes, they drained the water, or the lake, over a few hundred years. Man, I wonder if that would be actually beautiful to have the lake there still, and how that affects the ecosystem in the area, if that's too bad or not. Alright, descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude is set, seatbelt sign is on, recall checked, no recall, auto brake 3, landing data we've got VREF 134, flaps 30 minimums, 7,500 and I'll count 60. Set, approach briefing is complete and descent checklist is complete. I like it. I like the 7.6. I am honestly liking it very much. Like, properly very much. German flight simmer, wow, people had to drink a lot of water, I guess. Yeah. Sync crash fire, you should make a pilot announcement that we will soon begin our descent. Oh boy, we already began our descent. Okay, I can try actually. I think this is actually good practice without making fun of it. I think it's something that, well, I want to go into the airlines, right? So if I want to go into the airlines, that means that I'll have to do it eventually. So it would be something along the way of, first I would see how much time do we have to get there. So it's stated we will land there at 38, I'll assume 39. Where's the okay, here we go. So at 39 I'll be in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Alright. Alright, so it'll be something along the following. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the flight deck. We just initiated our descent into Mexico City. The weather expected so far is good. There's a little bit of a haze. For statute mile visibility, temperature is 15. Light wind. We're expecting a nice and speedy landing into Mexico City. Again, I would like to remind you to follow the cabin crew instructions for preparation into landing, and I'd also like to thank you for choosing United, for flying United into Mexico City. It was a pleasure having you on board. Thank you very much. See you next time. I think that would be it. Zach, Mexico City was built into a lake until the Spanish came. Oh, on top of a lake until the Spanish came. They say the city is sinking, but I don't know. That was just from tours when I was there. Oh. It sinks into the ground a bit because of the softer lake bed ground. Oh, so we're gonna make it sink even more as I'm gonna smash the poor 767 onto the ground there. And Mexico City is gonna go another millimeter into into the ground. And there we go, we got clear of skies. I think this is one of the volcanoes. It will definitely go somewhere along that direction. Or maybe not, maybe that's the one. You can kind of see it there. Yeah, not these ones. Like a pro. Synchronized flight. Oh man. Oh man, exciting times ahead. Exciting times. Starting to prepare to different airline assessments, studying other stuff, like there's a lot going on. I haven't still finished the CPL, but I have to prepare early. Zach, have you flown into Tegucigalpa Continental Airport, one of the craziest plane rides I have ever been on? Yes, we have. Twice. One of which was very long ago, like a long time ago. There is no way or no point in watching that one. And then there was the second time, which was significantly better. Maybe 2 years ago. We actually did the live stream, I remember. It was on the 757. Yeah. Let me find it. Let me find it. The landing was actually pretty good. That approach is hairy. It is quite woof. It is quite woof. Quite. Let me see, where was it? Yeah, actually 11 months ago. Toncontin approach. Yep, best metallic 757 livery. We flew it with American Airlines. Beautiful bare metal livery on the 75. And on the 75 it's slightly more challenging to fly than on a, I don't know, even a 737 is probably going to be easier to fly there, apart from the speed, of course, because the 737 requires a little bit of extra speed, but yeah. That is one hell of an approach. That is absolutely true. Joshi, are you on the way to become a real-life pilot? Yes, sir. I'm already a pilot. I already have my license. I'm just working towards my commercial license, so I have 6 flights to go. I have 6 flights to go, and I then will have to do the MCC, which is the multi-crew cooperation, which is done in the sim. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I just heard a dink. I missed it. What is it? Zach Nixon, subscribe. Thank you so much, dude. Welcome on board. Good to have you here. So yes, I'm absolutely on the way, and when I'll finish then I'll have my airline transport pilot license frozen. And I'll be going for the airlines. Absolutely. So exciting times ahead. Exciting times ahead. I can already tell you that there will be times when I won't be able to stream. Quite lengthy times, to be honest. So I'll try to find a way to maybe film something for you guys, so you will not feel disconnected from the community here that's on this channel. I'm thinking about it, but yeah, there is a lot of things silently going on the background as I'm approaching the finishing line of finishing the ATPL course and starting to look for a job and all of that. So yeah. Oh man, exciting times ahead. I don't know. I'm fighting, and I fought so much for this. 4 years ago I would never believe that I would even get this far. It's incredible. So yeah, and it's cool. I love doing this YouTube stuff. It pushes me, it makes me go into the books, it makes me remembering what is the global circulation, how can I explain it easily, make the drawings, all of that. It's good, and we're gonna continue with that because that's really cool. That's a huge airport, however it doesn't seem to be completely finished. Oh wait, is this the one they are building? The new one? No. No, wait. No, this is where we're flying. What? No, this is not where we're flying. Or is it? I'm confused now. But there is an airport in Mexico that they were building. Or am I confusing something? I might be confusing something. Alright, so do we have approach control? No, we just have the tower 118.550. Alright, that's very good. That means I could probably do direct 2. And that was Mike X-ray 755 to Almis. So like that. Confirm, yes, confirm, execute. Fantastic. I mean, it doesn't change our descent, so we're looking fine. And there's another... No, that's not an airport. Kinda looks like there would be an airport there, but it's not there. I think this is where we're gonna land. No, no way. No, there's the volcano. There are the 2 volcanoes. Okay, now this is something else. This kind of feels at the same time that the airport we're gonna go. I'm slightly confused now. Synchronous hour. Feels like we flew it yesterday, absolutely. FMC message, drag required. Yes, sir. I believe we will have to have a little bit of extra drag. No problem. And because we'll be passing the 18,000, I can decrease this to 12.5 initially, and we are also approaching our transition level. Maximum 230 knots. There's something going on here. Yeah, so the VNAV of this airplane is definitely not fun. Because we should be at 230 knots, and we're not at 230 knots at this rate of descent, so... so what can I do? What can I do? Let's go for the speed, and altitude comes later, because speed is more significant for this phase of flight. There's a new airport that was just finished last year from Dominican Republic to Mexico City. Oh, okay, makes sense. And there's another traffic coming in for the airport perhaps as well. VATSIM radar, please help me out because we have to maintain traffic separation and all that stuff. Let's see, where is this guy flying to? Yep, he's going for Mexico City and he's going full send, so off you go, sir. Alright, let's go VNAV, maintain the speed, VNAV path. Oh, we catched it, so speed brake disarmed. We got there. Alright. So I think I made the right choice. And is this guy... I hope he's gonna go direct to the... 331 knots. We're going 291. We're having a headwind. We're going at the same speed. Let me go 210 on the speed, and we'll go flaps 1. We'll go flaps 1. I'll let him pass. He's lower than us, minus 2,300 feet, and we also passed the transition level, by the way, so 3042 set here on the secondary, and let's see, approach checklist, altimeters are set, nav aids are set, approach checklist is complete. Ah, no, he's going for the full turn. Alright, then we are ahead, and that's actually good. That is actually fairly good. So he's doing the full approach, I'm not doing the full approach. Excellent, wonderful. At this point I could just proceed direct to UK-10, to be honest. And that's probably what I'll do, to save a little bit of time. Or even to suit us, could be as well. But for now, let's fly to UK-10. It's initial approach fixed. We're gonna start the approach from there. Funny thing is, why is it not descending even though it's kinda... Okay, now it is. Alright. Alright, we're looking good. We are looking good. When I fly from USA, flying to Benito. Okay, Felipe Angeles. Okay, yeah, we're flying to the Benito Juarez International. Flying there. We are flying there. Cool, I haven't been to Mexico in a very, very long time, but I know a couple of people from there. That's cool. I also know one person from there. So far, just one. It's Captain Iceman, the guy who does the Pipers. He's from Mexico. Absolutely fantastic guy. Josh, no, the one you're going only has 2 runways. Yeah, you are correct. I was checking the map, but I thought maybe they are expanding it, so the guys at X-Plane decided to already have them drawn. But yeah, I don't know. Now I don't know what is this guy doing, because he definitely made the full approach, but... Alright, let's proceed direct to Sutas. And we'll maintain 210 for now. It's still ground speed 276, so don't get fooled by the speeds. Also, we're getting a little bit fast there, but we can comply. Mexico Traffic United 1024 Heavy is proceeding direct to Sutas for ILS Zulu runway 05 right, Mexico Traffic. Zach, do you take recommendations on flights? What do you mean recommendations? Like suggestions to make a flight? Yes, I do. However, it depends very much. Oh, look at that! Wait. Oh no! And the haze just kicked in. I wanted to take a photo with the volcano there. It looked really good with the city. Can we see the other guy? Yes, we can. In fact, there he is. He is full sending. Clearly. Alright, I don't like the way that the airplane is behaving with the VNAV, so I'll do the following. I'll do 11,000 here. I'll do vertical speed. In fact, it wasn't too bad now. It wasn't too bad. And we'll do it like this. So I wanted to really catch up the speed. Speed should go down. It should, right? It's not. Alright, don't worry, we're gonna slow down anyway. Flap 5 limitation is 230 knots, so I could deploy flaps 5 for extra drag. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just going for it. And there's the haze. There is the haze. The cabin crew at this time would probably give it a dink. Cabin crew prepare for landing. So let's see, we comply with the thing. Let me do minus 1,000 for it to properly slow down. 9,700. There, and I could deploy flaps 5. And it probably would be a great idea to do so. Let's go flaps 5. We are within 10,000 feet, so lights aren't going to go on. In fact, we are just 5,000 feet above the ground. So that's a very good idea. Alright, speed is decreasing. Let's go to 180. And I feel like I will need still a little bit of speed brakes, maybe. Or maybe not. So mandatory is 8,900. Right now we'll be passing Sudas above 11. That sounds good. Speed is slowly bleeding off, so that's very good as well. We are definitely receiving some signal from the ILS. Let's apply some speed brake. Otherwise, it will not happen. And there's tower probably. Yep, tower. Thanks, tower. Very good day. United 1024 Heavy. We are on the RNF for the ILS Zulu runway 05, right? And I missed him. Say again for United 1024.
United 1024, Mexico Tower, hello, runway 05, right. QNH 30.38, wind 080 degrees, 6 knots, clear to land.
QNH 3038, clear to land, United 1024. Alright, sync that. A lot of stuff happening. We are established on the glide path beautifully. That's checked.
Wind 100 at you up.
Let's go approach.
Wind 100 at you up.
Yep, he's not on. 30, 38. There's glide slope localizer both sides. Fantastic. Climb on track. 055. Oh, there is no missed approach altitude. 14,000? 14,000. I'll assume 14,000. Alright, 14,000 it is. 170, we're flaps 5, let's go flaps 15. Do a bit of speed control here. And I'd probably love to go for 160 here.
Wind
Let's go gear down.
100 at you up.
Speed brakes aren't. Lights are on. Let's go for flaps 20. And flaps 25. Speed 139. Flaps full. We've got land 3. All looking great. Runways inside, landing checklist. Cabin is secured. Speed brake lever armed. Landing gear is down, and we've got 3 green flaps. 30. Landing checklist is complete.
1,000.
Let's check for stabilized. Come on, auto thrust, please. There we go. Flare and rollout is armed. We don't need that though. Let's go autopilot off. Auto throttle off. We're clear to land. That auto throttle there was a little bit crap. Watch out the vertical right. Trim the airplane properly.
500.
Remember the air is a little bit thinner. 2 whites, 2 reds, a bit of localizer. Yeah, this is why I don't like EPR. I can't feel the power. There we go, on the path now. And we're visual. And minimums.
Flight slow.
Checked. Visual, we're good.
Flight slow.
100.
Flight slow.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And spoilers. Reverse normal. $60 knots. Manual braking. Oh boy, that was heavy. Reverses out. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Chrono on. And we will be vacating on Echo. That was a little bit not that soft, but I don't care.
Wind 100, are you up?
I believe I can proceed that way.
Wind 100, 6 miles from final. Wind 100, runway 05, right, wind 130 degrees, 6 knots, clear to land.
Alright, it's clear to land. We vacated on Gulf.
United 1024, welcome to Mexico City. Cross runway 05 left. Continue taxiing via Charlie 2, Bravo 8 at your discretion.
Cross runway 02, taxi via Charlie, Bravo, standard bar Charles United 1024. Thank you very much. Alright, clear on the left. Co-pilot told me clear on the right, within possibilities. IPU start. Let's wait until we finish completely the crossing. There are some bushes there. And then I'll configure the airplane properly.
Wind 100, Mexico Tower.
Story says 10 years later he's still calling for the guy.
Wind 100.
Alright, there's
Wind
Charlie.
100.
Left is gonna be Bravo. Yep. Clear on the left was clear on the right. Lovely plane. Was really worried that when I would start to flare it wouldn't do it for whatever reason. Alright, let's go. Speed brakes up, flaps up, transponder to altitude, weather radar off, actually on there and on there. Auto brake off, lights already set, and we've got APU. That's very good. I'll reset the flight directors. There is the guy, and we're good. Oh, I like the flap sound, by the way. Sounds oh wait, what? What was that? That's some United magazine? Funny. And he landed. Very nice. You won't be sinking the city this time. I think it was pretty firm, to be honest. Zach, too easy. Well, when it looks easy, sometimes has a lot of preparation behind it. Alright, remember guys, we wanted stand 11, right? Stand 11, stand 11. Win 100. Why you landed? Didn't he give me him the clearance to land? No idea. Anyways, let's watch out for our gate. I thought I was authorized. So we'll leave the taxis as the front one? Yes it is, okay, correct. I saw you were talking but couldn't listen. Amazing. Alright, so that's 24, 23, hour is 11. I added a bit too much power. Also, you guys want to see the replay? $16, $15, $13. $13 was closed. I remember that. And there's $11. Yay! Taxi light off. Replay. Okay, so let's park at the gate. That's pretty good. JTP, oh, good to see here. Dude, 17 months. Oh my god, 17 months. What? 17 months is incredible. Thank you so much for the support. It's great to see you here. How are you doing? Parking brake is set, APU is on. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to disconnect. And we'll watch the replay and then I'll connect again. We'll do the shutdown and all of that. Speaking of shutdown, let me just stop the clock. Block time 2 hours and 8 minutes. Mexico City, United 1024, Spark Stand 11. Thanks for your service. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Delta 1024.
Alright, disconnect. Let's watch the replay. I think it was quite firm, to be honest. Like, I know I can land this airplane a lot smoother, but I didn't want to float it forever, so I just let it go. Okay, wasn't too bad actually. Alright, I take that. I take that. I thought it was a lot more plummeting. Could have definitely flared a little bit more, but that was actually okay. That nose drop though. I like the wing, man. Oh, and the city also at evening looks amazing. ShayTP, I couldn't join in a long time since my PC broke down to my liquid cooler dying, but it's all good now. Oh no. Oh. Oh Jesus, that is scary. That is scary. I hope I'll join you on the next stream. I missed flying so much. Dude, we missed you. Kinda in the back of my mind, there's always like, where's ShayTP? Where is ShayTP? Dude, you need to join. You need to join me. I hope next week I will be doing. It's not a special, but it's a slightly different. I mean, it depends on what you are going to talk about. Because perhaps I'm not sure about this, but perhaps I could be. What is this sound? This replay. Replay sounds are weird. I want to hear the flap sound. That's so weird. When did I start to move the flaps? Somewhere along here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Was flap mechanism. Anyway. No landing lights. No, that's due to the replay. That's why I didn't shut off the engines, because otherwise we would have no lights, no nothing. So yeah, because we had all the lights closed. Yeah, there was no landing lights there. ShayTP, yeah, I'll be waiting for you to join on the next flight. I am planning something slightly out of the box. It's not out of the box, but I think it could be interesting. So. Yeah, anyway, replay is done. Let's park the airplane. Shut it down. Parking brake is set. APU is available. Connect the bleeds. Cut off, cut off. Seatbelt signs off. Fuel pumps off. I believe this one is the only one that we leave on. Yes. And beacon light off. Hydraulics. Oh boy, that was loud. Woo. Isolation valves on. Holy cow, this is loud. Why is it that loud? GPU, gate config, LSU chocks. Loader unit, and that'll be it for now. Do this, this, and this. Of course, this plane would be now flying back, so this goes to standby. 2000.
I've left, clear to land. 2000, clear to land, yes, clear to land,
What? Oh yeah, of course, there are some frequencies that will give you ATC. Alright, so that is set, that is set, that is set. Landing checklist is complete. Shutdown checklist, hydraulic panel is set. Fuel pumps are off apart from the APU, which I can actually switch off because it will still stay on. Now it goes off. Speed brake lever down, the 10 flaps up. Parking brake is set. Fuel control switch is cut off. Weather radar is off on both sides. Shutdown checklist is complete. Now I'm going to do the secure checklist. And that will be it. It's going to be a slightly... Oh boy, that was loud. It's going to be a slightly longer flight, but I believe it's going to be cool. And perhaps, guys, pick one of the second... Okay, somebody, leave a vote if you can. So basic understanding of lift 1. This is going to be the topic for the next flight. Pick between the other two, airplane weights and limitations or center of gravity and limitations, as a complementary topic, because we will have enough time to talk about 2 topics on the next live stream. If everything goes according to plan, of course, which it rarely does. But anyways, you get my point. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little live stream on board the 767-300 from Houston to Mexico City. A little bit hazy on the approach, but overall it looked really nice. I don't know why the APU is still that noisy, because we switched it off. But anyways, it was really cool. I enjoyed being here. I hope you learned something new regarding meteorology, global circulation, on all of that. And I also hope to see you on the weekend, next weekend, so for another flight here on the channel. Until then, thank you very much for your support. It's great to have you here. I wish you an excellent week. We'll see you there. And yeah, exciting times ahead. That's the only thing I can tell you. That's it. Thank you so much, guys. Love you all. Bye bye.